Hello and welcome to another quick review. Today I want to take a look at a series of games that I played a little while ago. It's maybe been a week or so since I've played these. But this particular match just really stuck in my mind as something where just some of the most unlikely things happen and happen repeatedly. And so this is kind of a part of mahjong that I think is interesting to reflect on sometimes and to see what can happen despite what is probably pretty accurate play. And we'll review the play itself in Mortal afterwards. But let's see these hands. They're all fairly quick. I will show four hands total, but they go pretty quickly. Spoilers. So here I am in the dealer seat, East 3, 29,000 points, just a little bit behind the lead here. And I just won a hand, feeling pretty good. I draw into what looks like a pretty amazing hand. I've got a pair of tawns and two Dora in my hand. So I'm basically thinking, all right, this is dealer Mangan. So let's go. I start drawing, and we're drawing pretty well, matching up our sequences here and pairing up, drawing another Dora. Here we go, completing another sequence. It's turn 6. We pawn the ton, pawn the ton. And so now we're basically locked in for dealer Mangan, at least. Potentially even Hanuman if we manage to pawn the ones here. And so here we are, draw into Tenpai. We're now basically set, waiting on 5-8. Amazing wait. Turn 8. Draw this 3. And what do you do here, right? So Kamicha just Richi'd. I skipped the other turns, but Kamicha just Richi'd. He threw a 6 mon. We drew a 3 mon. Looks okay to push. So I think we push. Yep. Deal into Ipatsu. Luckily, it's a small hand, but still, that was a dealer Mangan at least. And so, but okay, we're still doing pretty well. Next hand. Looks okay, not quite as much value, but you know, we've got a pair of Hakus here. We can probably go. We pawn those. We start drawing pretty well again. Draw a Dora. So now this hand's looking pretty decent. And now we draw this ton. We just threw one. So what do you do here? You throw the ton, right? Turn 6. Yep. Deals in. Again, not the biggest hand, but significant. So our position is now in third, very solidly. But okay, it's still South 1. We still got 20,000 points. There's still this player, Shima, is still fairly far behind. It's okay, right? You know, two quick deal-ins like that, no big deal. Next hand, we have a Dora in our hand. We got a pair of guest wins. Not the best, but there's some good shapes. So, and we start drawing, and we draw pretty decently here. We get this, and here we go. I forget if this is the actual tile. Let's see. But yeah, what do you throw in this position? I missed the Richi. Yeah, okay. So there was a there is this Richi on turn 4 from Toyman. So who is the dealer? So there's a dealer Richi happening right now. So we need to be aware of what's happening. So we draw this 3 pin. It doesn't go into our hand. Do we push or do we fold? We do have a 1 that we can push. That's fine. And that's what we do. Or not push, but rather fold with, I guess. Or just throw away in this case. Then we draw the Hatsu. We don't really have any more Gembutsu tiles to throw. I mean, we have the guest wins, of course, that we throw out, and that's okay. So we're folding pretty much correctly, I guess, at this point. And then here, so now we still have a 7. but we throw the Hatu,
悪いね。
and that
そ
deals
りゃ
in. I think we would eventually have thrown it anyways, even if we threw the 7 so first. But yeah, this time it deals into what is almost a dealer Mongon, so pretty significant hand. And so we end up in last place, just in a matter of literally a few minutes, because each of these rounds just went really really quickly. They all finished, like before turn 8 or 9, or even sooner. And so bam bam bam, second place to last place, just like that. And so we're in South One, and here we go. Looks okay. We start drawing in the tiles that we need pretty much. I think Ishanten at this point, or Ishanten now. Ishanten now. And okay, and so now we Ricci. Now this is Ricci Dora with a Penchan weight on the 7 mon here. Do you even do this Ricci, right? So I think there's some people would, I think, and some people might wait for a better weight. So I think both are possible, and we'll see what Mortal says later. But yeah, so we Ricci and
論です。
Ippatsu. So 4 quick hands. I think they all finish by turn 8, more or less. And just I deal in 3 times, playing basically correctly. I don't think there are any weird discards. And then again, maybe playing correctly, maybe playing not so correctly, we get some points back. So yeah, that's Mahjong, and let's see what Mortal says about these plays and if this actually was correct play on my part or not. Okay, so here we are in Mortal, and let's take a look at what Mortal thinks about my discards here. So we start off with that first really good dealer Mongan looking hand. And so yeah, right off the bat, my early discards are bad. I think this is something that I've been working on actively the past week or so. I've noticed that my early discard game has been very iffy, and that I think it's led to a lot of underperformance. So yeah, this is not the most optimal order, I guess, according to Mortal. And but yeah, here it wants me to cut the 7 so rather than the 2 pin that I cut. So I draw the 1 pin. I decide to basically decide on this as the pair, and I cut the 2 to leave the 3-4-5 shape. Mortal doesn't really like this. Interestingly, it wants to cut the 7 so and isolate the 5 so. I guess it thinks there's enough value already because we have 2 Han with the 2 tons, and this this one Mon is the Dora. So I guess it figures, yeah, we don't need the 5 so, or we can wait on a better sort of companion tile for it than the 7 so. I think it's I don't know. This is kind of a difficult play to make. I think as a human, at least to me, I'm really attached to these red 5s. So if I have a tile like close to it, I'd be very reluctant on the 3rd discard to drop that. But yeah, the other option it presents is to throw away the 2 here. Again, the 2 mon. This is it is a penchant, but it's a penchant with a Dora in it, and so it's very interesting. The Mortal suggests these are okay to cut this early. So yeah, here, yeah, we draw the 1 so, no, we throw it away. And now we draw the other Dora. So now we can basically decide on the Dora as the pair. And of course, at this point, we can cut the 2 on, and that's what I do. Then yeah, we draw the 6 so, which completes our amazing sort of red 5 shape here, and then we can safely cut these 1 pins because we already have another pair with the Dora pair. And so yeah, this hand's just amazing at this point. And then yeah, Kamicha throws the Ton for us to pawn, and yeah, I think we're in Sampa at that point, right? However, he also manages to Ricci, and so yeah, now we have to play around the Ricci. Throw this 1. This is correct. and then skip the pawn on the Dora, also correct. Uh, and then we draw this 3-mon, which is it's Suji to the 6-mon that he just throws, right? So it's fine. It's kind of weird that this UI is showing the Ton as the Ricci tile. It's actually the 6-mon. I think there's a bug here in this Mortal UI. Anyways, yeah, because he doesn't. Or does he Ricci with? Okay, yeah. So maybe when I was doing the review in the in Mahjong Soul UI. I just skipped over, and so yeah, the pawn came from the Ricci tile. Okay, that makes sense. All right, and so then he discards the 6-mon. It's just that Mahjong Soul shows it as the Ricci tile at that point, and here we can still see it like darkened out. Anyways, yeah, so we draw this 3-mon. The only choice Mortal presents here is to push the 3-mon. There's no option to back down here. We're looking at a 12,000 or even an 18,000 point hand potentially. So, I guess at this point, since we declined the pawn on the Dora, it's going to be 12,000. But in any case, pushing is the only option. There's no other choice, but it deals it. And so yeah, nothing you can do about that. So next hand, why did that go so quickly? Because yeah, other people got to go first. Okay, so yeah, this is our first discard. So yeah, here we're actually doing the correct early discards. Mortal approves of the order. We pawn the Haku, throw away this 9, also correct play. Here's the first deviation from what Mortal recommends and what I actually discard. So it says to discard this 8-mon here. I throw the 4-so. So, yeah, the 4-so is isolated, and I guess I'm not really willing to wait on it to pair up to anything, whereas the 8-mon is in the same situation, more or less. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, I agree with the Mortal recommendation here. I think maybe I just keep it because kind of human nature and these tiles are together and they're all Mon tiles, and I'm not really or it's possible. I was also thinking that Toyman here is going for what looks like a flush in the Sozu suit, and I throw a tile right into that, right? So that's also not very good. I probably didn't even notice at this point because it's so early. It's only 5th discard. Actually, 6th or 7th, I guess, for others. My stuff got pawned. Okay, anyways, so yeah, we throw the 4, and that passes, luckily. And then we draw the Ton, which we just threw. And so, yeah, basically, Mortal says to keep throwing it. It's the first choice. So 8-mon's still a choice. But, I mean, there's nothing that's going to happen to this Ton in my hand. It's going to come out eventually. So, yeah. And, of course, it deals in. And then the next hand, so this is the really the worst deal in of them all here. So we start off by skipping the pawn, of course. Correct-ish discards. Yeah, correct discards, early discards here. Here's the first deviation. I throw the 3-pin, and Mortal really wants me to throw the 7-pin. And just, yeah, cut down on this shape here. And I guess the West Wind is also a possible choice. Yeah, I think it's okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have 5 shapes, so I think it's okay to cut this loose 3 here and not have to wait on it. But because it sort of looks like our shapes are kind of decided. But also cutting the 7 also makes sense, because if the pay here is our pair, then yeah, this is probably going to be a 6-7 and not a 7-7. So, anyways, here again, here I cut the Sha, and yeah, it's Mortal still says, yeah, just get rid of the 7-pin. Now we have a Ricci from Toyman, and yeah, throw the correct sort of tile. It's the only safe tile we have, I think, at this point. Then yeah, we throw the other safe tiles. And then yeah, we do have one Genbutsu tile, which is the 7-so, But as you can see, Mortal doesn't even really recommend throwing this. It says push. It says push this hand. The hand is close. I guess close enough, and the Hatsu is safe enough. So go ahead and throw that. And of course, yeah, that deals into nearly 10,000 points. So yeah, that was all basically correct play, more or less, pretty close to Mortal approved play, and especially with actually throwing the deal-in tiles, they were all the top choice, if not the only choice. And so let's take a look at that next hand where I actually do manage to snag the win with the Ricci Patsu and see what Mortal thinks about my Ricci decision. So yeah, here, slight deviation in the order of the early discards, but not too bad. This is correct. So here's the first major deviation, I guess. Mortal says to cut this penchant. I cut this penchant, the 1-2 versus the 8-9. So the 1-mon's been cut, and so perhaps that makes it the more likely side of the Manzu to get a 3. I'm not really sure why it thinks this one should go ahead of this one, but it felt somewhat arbitrary to me, I think, in the moment. Now that we draw back into the 1-mon, yeah, it still wants to cut the 8-9. We get a second chance, but of course I just rethrow the 1. I don't want to deviate from my decision, I guess. Yeah, and we finish throwing the 2 and getting rid of that 1 penchant. And now we draw this 7, discard correctly. We don't need that second one. And here we go. We draw the Tenpai tile, and now we can Ricci waiting on this penchant shape, right? And Mortal actually says, no, don't Ricci, just cut the 8. Cut this shape. I've seen Mortal do this quite a lot with penchant Ricci decisions. It basically says, just cut that penchant. I guess it wants to basically complete the other sequence and just like tanki wait on the terminal. I'm not really sure what it's really trying to accomplish with this 8 cut, but that's basically what it tends to recommend in these cases. However, well, and yeah, of course, like, let's take a look. Yeah, our discard tile is correct. I think we also had the choice to throw this. No. Oh yeah, we have, but yeah, the 2 is the correct one to throw. And yeah, and then we get the Ron Ipatsu and get some points back. But yeah, so this has been kind of interesting for me to review afterwards, because when you're playing and you get this kind of situation, 3 deal-ins in a row where you think you're playing correctly, but you end up dealing in and actually losing position, getting to 4th place. It may make you feel like you've done something wrong, but it's helpful to go back and at least get this AI to confirm to you that, like, okay, you're playing probably correctly, but sometimes this is a luck-based game after all, and so, you know, the luck will go against you eventually as well, and sometimes it'll happen multiple times and multiple times in a row, and that's part of the game. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to learn kind of the wrong lessons or play more defensively or something like that, which I think is an easy trap to fall into. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any thoughts on any of these plays in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.